All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elder, the GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in the truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, dealing with those that value, the truth, those that value the truth, you see, because as we, been awakened to who we are, all right, well, what you have, those who have been awakened, you have those who are serious minded, and look at this as a thing of value. Okay, and you can tell someone values something, okay, by the way that they treat it, okay, because as we understand, the truth is a precious thing, all right, and this is our way back, to favor with our power, and this is our way back to rulership, okay, and we fully understand, we're beginning to understand more and more that truth should govern the earth, all right, we live in a society that's governed by deception, which should make us value truth. Okay, because truth is the right way. Truth is peace. Truth is life. You know, truth is in honor and glory. Everything. All right, that we thrive for, that we desire for now. Okay, is within this truth. Okay, so as you read just the book of this is the Living Bible paraphrase. All right, yeah, the Living Bible paraphrase. All right, and I say a gift from the beloved elder brother Kazak from down here in Mississippi camp. But it's Proverbs 22 and 11, and it says, "He who values grace and truth is the king's friend." Okay, and what king? Okay, are we friends to? Okay, Yahweh Shai. Okay, so those that value grace and truth are the king's friend. And this is why we put so much emphasis on teaching the right doctrine, because we value truth. We're the king's friend. We've been sent with the king's message. We value this message. The message got to be right. Okay, that's why there's so much emphasis on the message, on the gospel, on the doctrine. All right, because this is the king's message. And the king is pleased with their messenger, okay, who's delivering the right message, man. Because we've been told, okay, the message from the king. All right, and you go to let's go here, St. John. All right, 15, and this is St. John 15, and I started at 14. I started at 13. It says, and here is how to measure it. Okay, the greatest love is shown when a person lays down his life for his friends. All right, and you are my friends if you obey me. You see, so this friendship that we have with Yahweh Shai is based on obedience, man. Okay, it has a so this friendship, all right, that we have with Yahweh Shai, it has expectations. Okay, and there's a certain obedience, man. Okay, as we were told to go out to the highways and byways, feed the sheep, love the Most High with all thy heart, mind, and soul, love thy neighbors thyself. Okay, and within that, that's just a format, for righteousness and obedience, man. Okay, because loving the Most High with all our heart, mind, and soul, okay, we will be faithful to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay, we won't go off into other guys and teach other guys and mingle other guys into the doctrine. No, we will be faithful to our power. Okay, and only exalt Him and His Son. Love thy neighbors thyself. Okay, we wouldn't teach our neighbor false doctrine, man. That's hatred. That's not love. Okay, we wouldn't exhort, okay, the church. Okay, we wouldn't extort them. It's like we wouldn't extort the church, grift the church. Okay, set them up for failure, be a financial burden unto the church. Okay, that's not loving thy neighbors thyself. Okay, and you can go, on and on. All right, but the friendship with Yahweh Shai is based on obedience, and that's why you see a lot of men, Yahweh Shai not dealing with these men, the Spirit not dealing with these men because they're not dealing with the obedience of their friendship. Okay, so as we, value grace, this grace period, and how do we show that we value this grace period? By making the most of it. Okay, by being profitable to the ministry, being profitable to ourselves, man. Constantly conforming to Yahweh Shai and righteousness, man. Constantly putting away the old man, because we have the grace period to do that, man. So how do we show we value this grace period? Okay, by this appreciation. Okay, how do we value the truth, man? By being, tedious and punctual with this doctrine, man. Okay, so reading on, and it says, "And you are my friends if you obey me," St. John 15:14. "I no longer call you slaves, for a master doesn't confine in his slaves. Now you are friends, proved by the fact that I have told you everything the Father told me." Okay? So Yahweh Shai has entrusted his friends with this truth. Okay? And to deliver the correct message. You see? And to continue to deliver the correct message of the king. Okay, this is the king's message that we have. A messenger would be entrusted to deliver the correct message, man. Okay, because the wrong message can do a lot of damage. You see, you go to the ancient world and the kings will send messengers, man. If that messenger didn't come with the right message, all right, it can cause a war, it can cause a loss, it can cause a loss of an alliance. It can impact, financially, like militarily, it can be different, because the wrong message was sent for, because certain messengers, on their way to deliver a message, they can get bought out to deliver a wrong message. Okay, which we see today. Men, have been bought out to deliver the wrong message to cause harm. Okay, they don't value grace. They don't value truth. They value, all right, filthy lucre, being popular, clout. All right, the little perks that come, with having money in this world. This is what Jake valued. They don't value grace and truth, and that's why they're not friends with the king. They don't value the king's friendship. Okay, they value substance and gain in this world. Okay, and it shows. You see? So let's go from there. Let's get this in the book of Sirach. No, Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon 7. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, in verse starting at 24. It says, "For wisdom is more moving." Okay, for wisdom is more moving than any emotion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness, for she is the breath, okay, of the power of the Most High, a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, can no defiled thing fall into her. Okay, so this true wisdom that we have, all right, the Rakakwadash, that Holy Spirit, which it invigorates us, it revives us in truth. Okay, so this truth that we have is a pure influence from Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Okay, but if we're not right, then that spirit flees away from us. And this is what we see in amongst, these different men, is the spirit is constantly fleeing from them. Okay, to their own fumes now. Okay? That's why nothing that they're saying is making sense. Nothing that they're saying is profitable for edification or salvation. Okay? Because they don't have that pure influence. You see, they're influenced by other means, by other external means. Okay? It's not from the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit that's within. They're influenced from outside me, external means. Okay? The things of this world. Okay? And that's why they speak of things concerning this world. Okay? So, going on, said for wisdom, all right, it says, for she is the breath of the power of the Almighty and a pure influence from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of his goodness. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And in all ages entering into holy souls, she making them the friends of the Most High. Okay, and prophets, man. Okay, so when you see the prophets, the true prophets, you're seeing a reflection of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. You know, the more, we mature in this thing, the more we resemble the wisdom and the image of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Okay, and you will see that amongst his true men. Okay, and you will see his true men grow in that wisdom and that maturity and become more and more, all right, like into the image, okay, of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, man, which Yahweh Shai comes in the volume of the book. So we begin to become more like this book. You see? So it says, um, uh, just reading again, verse 27 says, for being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And in all ages entering into holy souls, she making them friends of the Most High and prophets. Man, it said all ages entering into holy souls. So truth returns to those true prophets. True wisdom that Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, returns to those true prophets, man. You know? And you have imposters that can imitate the Holy Spirit. They can, they are able to, teach and sound eloquent and put this together and put that together and paint a picture. But their spirit ain't there. And after a while, it's exposed that the spirit not dealing. Okay? They're not true friends of the king. And you can tell how, careless they are with the message of the king, that they're not friends of the king. Okay? And it says, for she is more beautiful than the sun and above all. Verse 28, it says, for the Most High loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom, man. So the Most High loveth those that dwell with wisdom, man. And we're friends of the king and we're delivering, okay, this right message, okay, which is the message of the king. Okay? So that's the point. Just wanted to get into that. Lord will, you brothers. All right. And you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.